Hey, Braverman. I hope you have been staying safe during this COVID-19 pandemic.
I have. All of my family is social distancing, although things are a little hectic because we're in the process of relocating.
Really? Where are you relocating to?
Well, we're leaving the living room and moving to the family room. It's going to be a big adjustment, but I think we're up to the challenge. How about you? What are you guys doing to keep busy?
My mother and I have been crocheting masks, and we are making them out of the yarn left over from the tree sweaters we made last winter.
You're crocheting them? Aren't there a lot of holes in the mask? And doesn't that kind of defeat the whole purpose of wearing one?
We are not making them for family or friends. We are making them for people we don't like. By the way, what color do you want?
Gee, thanks, Shelby. I thought you liked me.
Like is kind of a strong word, don't you think? I would say it's more like tolerate. Yeah, tolerate. I think that best describes it. So, what are you doing to keep busy?
I'm working on a novel for young people. It involves an adolescent who's an amateur sleuth, and he's trying to solve a crime involving one of his schoolmates.
That sounds like a real page turner. Let me guess. It's about a kid named Tom who keeps flunking ninth grade, and he believes that students he is cheating off of are intentionally putting down the wrong answers.
No, the plot revolves around a student, like yourself, who disappears after making fun of her teacher for several years until he finally breaks. What do you think?
I think you are a great teacher, and I don't think I tell you that enough.
Thank you, but what about the plot?
I'm not sure, but what I am sure of is you are one of my favorite teachers.
Well, have you read any good books lately?
I just started reading an autobiography called I Am the Greatest.
Is that the one by Muhammad Ali? That came out the year I was born.
I can't read stuff written in hieroglyphics, and besides, the stone tablets weigh too much, and I like to carry my books with me. It's actually written by Donald Trump. Did you know that global warming is a big hoax and that the Russians actually tried to get Hillary Clinton elected?
What?
Not only that, she is the world's smartest man and she single-handedly stopped racism and sexism in the United States.
That sounds like a complete fabrication.
Like your resume?
My resume is truthful and accurate, thank you very much. Don't you read the news or watch reputable news shows?
I fact-checked all the claims he made in his book, and both the Mike Pence and Fox News websites states that everything in this book is the dog's honest truth.
You mean the God's honest truth?
No, I'm sure it said dogs, and they never lie.
What do you mean they never lie?
My dog sits, stays, and lies down, but he never lies.
Are you really reading that book?
No, I just wanted to get you going because from the looks of it, you've been doing a lot of sitting during the pandemic.
I've actually been walking my dogs 3 times a day, I have to say. Doug the puppy has turned into a real therapy dog.
You mean he has finally mellowed out and can help make those who are sick and old feel better?
No, I mean, since I have to be at home with him every day, all day, I now need to go to therapy 3 times a week.
That sounds terrible.
It's not bad. I do it on Zoom and it's kind of therapeutic. However, I don't get a lot of feedback from the therapist.
What do you mean?
Well, when I tell her my problems, she just stands there and never says a word. It's kind of weird too.
How so?
She looks like the character Rey from the Star Wars movie, The Rise of the Skywalker, and she always has a lightsaber in her hand.
I think I would find a new therapist. I saw a cardboard cutout from that movie at Marcus Theaters, and it sounds like that's what you were describing.
Well, you might be right, but she does make me feel better, although I was wondering why Doug the dog keeps barking out the words, Tom, I am your father.
Very funny.
You think so?
No, not really. But I don't want you to have to go to therapy because you feel bad that I never laugh at your jokes.
You never laugh at any of them?
Well, there was one self-deprecating joke that you told me a few years ago, and I remember that at the time I thought about laughing.
You thought about it, but you didn't?
Well, I would have, but after you said it, I threw up in my mouth a little bit, so it would have been uncomfortable.
Can we change the subject?
Sure.
What do you want to talk about?
I have been applying for a lot of jobs lately, and I have learned some valuable lessons about the interview process.
Like,
Like, you should never ask during the interview if there's a place at work where you can store your AR-15 during work hours. That seems to be a deal breaker.
you mean you have an AR-15?
Well, no, but I don't want to work anywhere that actually has a place where employees can store their weapons. Would you?
Well, of course not. What else have you learned?
I also learned that during the interview, you should shut off your cell phone.
That's good advice. Why did someone call you when you were in the interview?
No, I was just continuing my conversation with my mom, and she called as I was walking into the interview. I can't be mean to my mom and just cut her off. Sometimes she needs validation, and I'm sorry. I value family over everything, and if an employer cannot understand that, I don't want to work there either.
Is there anything else you learned not to say at an interview?
Yes, you shouldn't tell them that you have a habit of checking Facebook, Twitter, and uploading dance videos to TikTok, and that you need a 5-minute break each hour in order to do that.
Yeah, that's probably good advice. I can't imagine any work site where they would let you do that.
Well, you can if you are an administrator at City High or the President of the United States.
That's so true.
So, how is Mr. Bacon doing?
Well, the whole school closure thing, it was pretty hard on him. He really needs his kid fix every day, or else he doesn't know what to do. City High, it's his life, and he has a huge void to fill now.
Maybe he can be a DJ at a Big Grove or El Cactus. I hear half the student body goes to those places nightly since the governor lifted some of the restrictions. It would be like him doing announcements for 2 hours at a time, and he would love that.
That's a great idea.
And how is Miss Schwab?
She's fine. She's going to be half-time next year, and the other half of the day she's going to be an IDS staff person.
Does that acronym stand for idle, dilly-dallying, and sleeping?
Well, yes, it does.
She should be great at that.
The best.
Well, my mom says I need to get off Zoom now because she needs the bandwidth to meet with her quilting peeps on Zoom. She is doing a presentation on mitered binding.
Okay. Bye, Shelby. It's been good talking to you.
Hi, Braverman. I know it has been good for you to talk to me.